Yo, what's gaming players? It's your boy, Desmond Sharp, man, back out here on this Madden 21 franchise mode. And we are here with another 1 o'clock scheduled game here in this season finale. Now, in this matchup, it's going to be a lot of stuff at stake for this one. The Houston Texans are hosting the Tennessee Titans. As you guys already know, the Tennessee Titans are already in the playoffs. They could either be the 3rd seed or the 4th seed, depending how this one goes and the Ravens game goes. Because if the Titans can win, and if Cincinnati ends up upsetting Baltimore, then Tennessee will be the 3rd seed heading into those playoffs. But if both Tennessee and Baltimore wins, then it'll stay as it is. But for Houston, however, they're still fighting for their playoff lives. This is the very last week for them to try to get themselves a playoff berth. Now, they are the current 8th seed. By virtue of the Bills' win, they can no longer go after the Buffalo Bills. Their next step is the Cleveland Browns. They have to be careful of. If the Texans can knock off Tennessee and then scoreboard watch the Browns and Steelers game and make sure that the Browns lose, if the Texans win and the Browns lose, the Texans will jump over Cleveland and get themselves into the postseason as the 7th seed. And they will end up stealing the Browns' shots of going to the postseason. But in order for any of that to happen, the Texans have to win. They have to win first in order for them to scoreboard watch. That's all they need to do. But for Tennessee, like I said, they're already in the playoffs because they're the current 4th seed. As you can see right here, they could currently have a matchup and a rematch with Big Ben and the Steelers, a team they beat back in week 4 of the regular season. Now, I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh's hoping for their revenge that time around. But we'll see what happens once we get to the postseason. But for now, go back and check out week 6. If you don't know what happened in the last matchup between the Titans and the Texans, go back and check out week 6 so you'll keep in mind of what happened, what went down in the last battle between the Titans and Texans, and see how we've gotten to this point where the Texans have an opportunity to get themselves into the playoffs. Like I said, they need a win and a Browns loss to get them into the postseason. But before they make sure what the result of Cleveland's game is, they're going to have to win their game first. And be sure to check out the rest of the games here, not only in the season finale, but the rest of the 16 weeks of the regular season if you haven't seen those. But anyways, let's head down to NRG Stadium in Houston. Now, another reminder, Christopher Parsons and Josh Levine will not play for the Tennessee Titans. They are resting them for the playoffs. So we're going to see how Tennessee fares without Parsons and Levine in the lineup. Let's go.
Today, from NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, it's week 17 of the NFL on EA Sports.
Now, another surprise for Tennessee. This one should be a good one because Derrick Henry is going to play for this one.
We'll see Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans taking on Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. The scene from a few moments ago, this crowd enthusiastically cheering on their Texans as they emerge from the locker room. And we're just about ready for football as the Texans get set to match up with the Tennessee Titans.
And those are the standings in the AFC South Division. Yes, the Titans have already clinched it, but they're looking for more wins in the column.
Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Texan ball.
And the Titans are looking to bounce back after falling to Green Bay in their last game, which is only their second loss of the season. So they're looking to rebound after the loss. But Houston's looking to get themselves towards the playoffs. Like I said, need a win and a Browns loss in order for that to happen. But they're going to have to win their game first. But as we're underway from Houston, and Randall Cobb will take a knee, so the Texans will begin their opening drive, and Deshaun Watson leading the way. And like I said, for Houston, they're going to have to win their game in order to find out what happens in the Cleveland game in order for them to make the playoffs. Because this is the only opportunity, the very last opportunity for Houston to make the postseason.
Receivers, because they get a chance to do what they do best, which is go out and catch the ball.
Yeah, and that last week effort, he threw for well over 400 yards.
And here's Duke Johnson. And not much there. He picks up a yard out of that one. Second down.
Rashaan Evans out of Alabama had the tackle defensively.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job.
And Deshaun Watson is looking to run it himself, but the Tennessee defense is all over that one. He loses yardage.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. From the gun, here's Watson.
Watson, and he goes down. Harold Landry picks up the sack there.
Harold Landry, the former Boston College Eagle.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. On 4th down, here's Brian Anger now to kick this one away.
So Brian Anger to kick this one off. To punt it away for Houston. And Levine, he will be out there, but it's only going to be for punt returns. And he's brought down at the 38-yard line. And Tennessee takes over. And here comes Ryan Tannehill.
Leading them out.
Not only did Ryan Tannehill resurrect his career in 2019, he may now serve as a blueprint for quarterbacks looking for a second opportunity. He moved from Miami to Tennessee, took over the starting job for Marcus Mariota in Week 7 last year, and wound up leading the NFL in quarterback rating. And the Titans went 8-3 in his 11 starts, snuck into the playoffs, and went to the AFC Championship game. His future is bright in Nashville, and he expects to be the starter there.
And here's Derrick Henry. And he's going to be brought down after a gain of 11 and a first down.
11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. Derrick Henry, you may remember last year against Houston in the season finale, 211 yards rushing. One of only 2 200-yard games in the NFL last year. And not only that, but that game won him the rushing title because Nick Chubb was the leader, but he struggled in the final week against the Bengals. And then up from behind came Henry.
First and 10. Henry. And he's going to be brought down right at midfield. And those were the stats for Henry in the last game. He played well on the ground.
He was able to topple the 200-yard mark and a rushing touchdown for good measure.
And what I found surprising, all those yards he accumulated, only found the end zone one
just
time.
Once.
That doesn't even seem fair, does it?
But still, the 200-yard mark, something he can always carry in his back pocket. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. From the 50, it's Tannehill.
Play action for Tannehill. And that one's incomplete.
A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, we saw these defenders flying to the football in their win last week, and nothing has changed. They're still moving around quickly and forcing incompletions.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8.
Gun, here's Tannehill.
Tannehill. He's going to find Jonnu Smith right side. And he's got a Titan first down.
Able to get the 3rd down conversion. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a first down.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. To throw is Tannehill.
Tannehill looking for Adam Humphries, and he's got it. And he's down inside the 20 and a first down for Tennessee.
Again, that's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Tannehill, and it's caught. Henry, and he's so close to the goal line, tackled at the 1.
Another 18-yard gain. They had 18 on the previous snap as well.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good
Tannehill to the end zone. Corey Davis, touchdown Tennessee.
Corey Davis, his first touchdown on the year. And the Titans have taken a first quarter lead. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down and score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score.
Extra point is good, and it's 7-0 Titans.
They're going to run this. We're going to stop it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
Nice start there for Tennessee. They get the 3 and out defensively and offensively. Go right down the field to score.
Send this one away. Fielded near the back
and
of the
Cobb
end zone.
will take the knee in the end zone, so the Texans will take over. So here comes Houston.
Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And it's all come down to this, hasn't it? Final week of the regular season, as this year's playoffs play out anything like the regular season has gone, could be in for a wild and fun month of January.
And we can break the rules because we can look ahead. All right, there's not a coach out there that's ever said to their team, all right, let's look three weeks down the road. It's always right here, right now.
And here's Duke Johnson, and he's going to be tackled at the 30-yard line.
The teams that are trying to get in, we could have some great matchups. Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Watson running himself. And he will slide down and a first down for Houston. Again, a 15.
And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that. And here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game. And all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
Now a first down throw.
Watson looking for Montgomery, and he caught it. Nice catch by Wes Montgomery. A gain of 36.
36 yards on the play.
I'm pretty sure any quarterback will tell you it's nice to have a tight end that can stretch the field. And how about him right there?
Look at that. 2 Tennessee defenders right there still couldn't guard Montgomery. That is crazy.
To go into the briar patch.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Out of the gun, Watson.
And he finds KJ Tucker. And they're going to get him down, getting this inside the 5. Or right about the 5.
You see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball's thrown.
Watson. And, oh, that one could have been picked off. But that's going to end the first quarter.
7-0 on EA Sports. The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. To the air yet again, Watson. Forced out to his left.
Watson. And that was caught by Tucker. And he goes down at the 1, but what a catch.
You don't just circle the games on your team's calendar. You circle the Pro Bowl. Without a doubt, that's a game that you just figure you're going
Watson,
to be in.
and he's sacked.
He sacked back around the 3-yard line.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
So on 4th down,
So here's Fairbairn on with the Texans field goal.
The left hash should be a fairly easy one here.
And he's got it to put the Texans on the board, 7-3.
Still trailing, it's 7-3. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they
Adam Humphries is not going to return this one. This one will be a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And you can see they'll be the AFC South representative, but for the moment at least, they'd still need to host a wild card game in that first weekend, but not the worst thing in the world.
No, not at all. And you and I both know this about this division. It's been wide open and extremely competitive.
And here's Henry.
Year, so for a team to come away
And
with
he's going to be tackled at the 26-yard line.
You know they'll be battle tested for their run in January and into February. Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
On 2nd down,
And here's a toss. Henry. And Derrick Henry with some space, right side. And a stiff arm. Derrick Henry takes it to the house. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Derrick Henry, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the
He did this same exact thing against Green Bay,
get the quick strike touchdown.
and he does it again.
They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
That's what
They saw
Derrick
the
Henry
blitz coming.
does.
They got
If
to
he
him a
gets
little
out in
bit,
an open
but they leveraged
space,
it perfectly and found not just a
you're going to be in
crease,
trouble
a gigantic
defensively.
hole, and off he goes.
And not
And he's
only
still
he
going
broke
all
off
the way to the end zone.
into coverage, not only he was free, he even delivered a stiff arm, and off he goes. And it's 14-3.
ball game. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone.
And here's Kern to kick this one away.
Now as they will send this one away. Now the return.
And here's Cobb. And he's going to be tackled right at the 26-yard line. So the Texans will take over.
At their own 26-yard line.
Now comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession.
Watson, and that's caught by Kenny Stills. And he's going to be tackled at the 32-yard line.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule.
Watson gets hit as he throws, and it's incomplete.
As it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. He was looking to go back to Stills, and it's 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4 for Houston.
A shotgun snap for Watson.
Watson, and it's incomplete. He was trying to go to Montgomery, and now it's 4th down.
I'm looking at this with my defensive eyeglasses on, because you remember the old days when a tight end saw a linebacker.
And if you're Cleveland and you're paying attention to this game, you should be pretty happy yourselves, because even the Browns understand that the Texans are fighting for their playoff lives. They actually want the Texans to lose this game. So they should be pretty happy right now.
Let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Here's another toss. Henry. And he's going to be tackled at the 27. A pickup of 7.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a
Tannehill, and that's caught. A.J. Brown. And he's going to pick up a 1st down.
Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
On 1st down, Tannehill. Flush to his right.
Tannehill on the run. Slings it for Adam Humphries. He's got it, and he gets this inside the 25. Wow.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we
Tannehill is slinging the football right now.
Stats and scores from games in progress.
Tannehill, he's got Henry over the middle, and he's brought down at the 12, and another 1st down.
This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
Good strong throw and catch right there, and so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Tannehill throwing again.
Tannehill to the end zone. A.J. Brown, touchdown Tennessee.
A.J. Brown, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Titans find a way to stretch their lead. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually
3 drives by Tennessee, 3 touchdowns.
They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone?
And Christopher Parsons, he should be absolutely loving it, because that's 2 touchdown passes for Ryan Tannehill. Not only that, rushing touchdown by Derrick Henry. So now the Titans are up 21-3 against the Texans. The Texans are in desperation mode.
Here comes Cobb.
Here's Cobb. And he's going to be brought down at the 23-yard line as the Titans take over. Well, the Texans will take over.
Set to take over. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21. A little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3.
Watson, and he goes down. Harold Landry gets the Watson for a second sack in the game.
Yet again, what else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Watson looking for Montgomery, and he dropped it.
Took a pretty
wow.
good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on.
Montgomery usually never drops passes like that. He's had a tremendous regular season. He usually never drops passes like that. So here's Duke Johnson, and he's going to be brought down at the 19-yard line as Tennessee used one of their timeouts.
Stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. And he gets this away, and look at this.
This one's sent away, and Levine's going to return it, and he's going to be tackled at the 27-yard line.
Come the offense as they take over. Here comes Ryan Tannehill now, leading his offense back out there. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how
Tannehill, and he's going to get rid of it. That's only his 10th pass he's thrown so far, and he's caught 8 passes so far. 8 passes have been completed so far. That's actually a good stat. And Tannehill's going to find Henry this time. And Henry gets him with a stiff arm. Another victim. He's got a first down for Tennessee.
That was a beautifully executed screen pass. It let the rushers get upfield and get the escorts in front, meaning the
This is the type of stuff I be saying about Derrick Henry. You got to be careful, because if he sees a defender coming at him, you know there's one move he's going to hit you with. And he's already hit 2 people with that stiff arm.
Now a first down throw, Tannehill.
Tannehill's going to find Henry yet again. And they're going to get him down at the 30-yard line. And Tannehill's going to spike it with 14 seconds left. But man, what a first half for Derrick Henry. He's already has a touchdown run. He's receiving the ball. Tannehill with 2 first-half touchdown passes so far. And Tannehill's going to find Brown, and how about 3? Touchdown, Tennessee.
Touchdown, Titans. A.J. Brown in the final seconds of the first half.
And that's Brown's 2nd touchdown in the first half. But how about Tannehill? 3 first-half touchdown passes. How about that?
Say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook. But even before that, let's see if
oh boy, if you're a Houston fan out there, you might have to be worried, because your playoff lives might end right here. Because if the Texans lose, then it don't matter what the result is from the Cleveland Browns game. The Browns are automatically gonna break that longest active playoff drought in the NFL if the Texans do not come back here. But man, what a first half by Tennessee. Making a statement.
Here comes Cobb.
And here's Randall Cobb. And he's going to be tackled at the 28-yard line.
Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
No reason to do anything foolish as they'll snap it one more time on first down.
So the Texans are going to kneel it. The Titans are going to take a 28-3 lead into halftime. And if the Texans do not come back in the second half, then the Cleveland Browns will break the longest active playoff drought in the NFL, and Houston will end up being eliminated from the postseason.
All right, Brandon, thank you as always. Welcome into our final regular season edition of our halftime report. Playoff lives hanging in the balance as we take you around the NFL one final time.
Up next, we're going to be in Chicago. The Bears, like I said, they got nothing to play for, but the Packers looking to finish off with another victory. Then we're going to be in Cincinnati. The Ravens looking to keep that 3rd seed in the AFC, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals.
Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In our game has been Ryan Tannehill, who's had the hot hand in the first half. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front. As we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
If you ever imagine what would happen in a first half, think about it. It's all Tennessee. 3 touchdown passes for Tannehill, 1 rushing touchdown for Derrick Henry. I mean, what else would happen, especially when you got them 2 doing damage offensively? And speaking of having damage offensively, the Titans are going to get the ball to start the second half. And Adam Humphries, he's going to be brought down at the 27-yard line.
Take over first and 10 at their own 27-yard.
Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go
And here's Henry, and this time the Texas defense were all over that one. Tackle him in the backfield.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
Now the Texans do understand that they had a little issue stopping Henry, especially on the ground.
Now Tannehill.
And Tannehill's going to find Henry right side. And they're going to get him down at the 42. First down, Tennessee.
That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
So another first and 10 for the Titans. And here's Henry again, and Henry with another stiff arm. That's 3 stiff arms in one game, and another first down.
Nice carry there by Derrick Henry. Picks in 16 rushing touchdowns.
He is letting the Texans know that I am here to show out.
Now it's
Henry yet again, and he's tackled at the 36. A pickup of 5.
It'll be second down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Tannehill over the middle to A.J. Brown.
And he's going
to be tackled at the 20 and a first down. Now, if you're a teammate like Josh Levine, you should be absolutely happy and enjoying everything that A.J. Brown's doing so far. Because usually this is what Josh Levine always does, but now A.J. Brown's doing it here in the season finale, and that's actually smart.
Such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. So first and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Tannehill gonna turn.
And here's Henry. And he's going to be tackled at the 16, a pickup of 4.
Give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead.
And here's Henry. And he's going to get tackled this time at the 14.
2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground.
Tannehill, and that's caught by Corey Davis. Touchdown, Tennessee. His second in the game. And how about Tannehill? 4 touchdown passes.
Okay, we need to double check here with Marvin because he keeps all of our good stats, but what I've got is 5 drives,
now, if you're
5
Christopher
touchdowns,
Parsons and you're on the sideline watching this, you should be absolutely proud of yourself.
clicking at this point. They're clicking about as much as they can.
You should be really proud of your teammate Ryan Tannehill. He's putting on a show. 4 touchdown passes in this game. Extra point is good, and it is becoming a rout here in Houston. Boy, oh boy. If you had known that this was going to happen with Houston, then wow. This is just crazy. The Texans were on a major winning streak to get here, and now they're getting blown out.
And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed
And Watson, he's getting sacked too many times, and that's another reason why they're trailing.
We can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally.
And his top stars that he usually gets involved, they haven't even gotten into the end zone yet. And Watson's going to find KJ Tucker, and he's got a first down.
Able to slip across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Operating from the gun,
Watson, and that's caught by Kenny Stills. And he's going to be tackled at the 45. First down for Houston.
Nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Oh, that was a pretty route right there, because it's all about finding a window on a route like that. He lined up on his left, ran the deep in route over the middle, and the ball was right where it needed to be. Really good trust between quarterback and receiver. Really good completion.
Watson, and that's caught. Tucker. And they're going to get him down at the 21 and a first down.
23 yards on the play.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense, because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point, and what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue, not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a first down.
Watson, and that's picked off.
Picked off down near the 5, and the return will stop them well inside their own 20.
And the carnage continues for this Texans team. They just can't get anything going.
At their own 15-yard line.
And Watson was trying to go to Montgomery, but of course the Titans defense was all over that, and they took it. So now the Texans defense has to come right back on the field.
To begin the drive. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now.
And here's Henry, and he breaks off again in the coverage, and he's got a first down.
Everything is working for them. Every move they make works. It clicks.
But that's going to bring the third quarter to a close. Tennessee is on their way to a 14th finish to the regular season. A 14-win season for them. They are on their way to that.
At this point of the game, that means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football.
And Henry, and this time he gets tackled right at the line of scrimmage.
And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
On second down.
And here's Henry again, breaking another tackle, and he's got a first down. Man, if I had known the Houston Texans were going to get this much demolished on the ground game, you wouldn't have known. But Derrick Henry, you got to understand, he always does this to Houston. He always does this to him. They just don't have their scouting report. They just don't have it. I mean, you got to think about it. They already allowed a touchdown to Henry already. So
now a handoff here to
Henry breaking a tackle, and he's brought down at the 46. A gain of 7.
I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this fourth quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off.
And here's Henry, and there goes Henry again. And he's brought down at the 21. This is unbelievable. Derrick Henry is putting on a show in this one.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks.
This is
they've got the confidence to
unbelievable.
keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And they're going to hand it to Henry once again. And he's tackled at the 15. A pickup of 7.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah.
And here's Henry once again. Another stiff arm. That's probably about 5 stiff arms in this game. Now the Titans have a 1st and goal.
Racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game
Wow.
press conference. I have a feeling
This is a total heartbreak for the Texans. They came in here on a massive win streak, and they had a chance. They had a chance in this one to get themselves towards the playoff. With a win and a Browns loss would have done it, but with them finna lose this game, that's not gonna happen. So 1st and goal for Tennessee.
They'll try the air now with Tannehill.
Tannehill's gonna find Henry.
No gain on the screen.
No gain on the screen. 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
And Derrick Henry, he's gonna get in for the Titans touchdown. His 2nd in the game. And the Titans, they are ready to celebrate.
Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew
Wow.
they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Extra point is good, and this one is a rout. 42-3.
9-play drive. And Derrick Henry able to finish it off with a touchdown run.
Well, it looks like to me that the Texans' run to try to get them into the playoffs is going to end right here in Week 17.
The kickoff unit is out on the
So the
field, and they will
Cleveland
send this
Browns,
one away.
even though they haven't played yet, they could still celebrate right after their game, but still,
And he'll take it up past the 25,
the Browns,
26-yard line.
they're gonna break the longest active playoff drought in the NFL, since the Texans are not gonna come back in this one. They don't have enough time. That 6-game win streak of the Texans is going to end right here in Week 17, and the Texans will be unable to make the playoffs this season. This is a total heartbreak. Oh, and another incompletion. Unbelievable. And that's Montgomery who's doing that. He's never done that this entire regular season.
They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score.
Watson, and he's going to find Montgomery this time, and he's got a 1st down.
Get it up past the 45. A gain there of 21 yards. defense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Watson looking for Montgomery, and he catches it. And Montgomery takes it to the house for a touchdown, a late touchdown at that. But even though he's not going to be happy about it, because he knows that his team is not going to make the playoffs since they're going to lose this game.
But congratulations, they're still fighting, and they scored another touchdown.
My old high school coach used to say, Charles, he said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you wish you never had showed them.
Fairbairn puts in the extra point, but it's still a blowout. Let's say that.
Fairbairn good with the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play.
Yo, guys, how about these backups to start week 17? How about these backups coming in for their starters who are resting for the postseason? How about these backups? They're literally playing their hearts out right now. Even though Derrick Henry's the only starter that's playing, he's still doing his thing. So the Tennessee Titans, all they need is a couple of more first downs to salt this one away, because they've got this one in hand.
They'll try and choose some clock with Henry.
And they're going to hand it to Henry, and he's going to be tackled at the 35 as the carnage on the ground continues.
He's going to have a first down.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Now I got to tell you, how about these backup quarterbacks coming in to the game? Remember, Sam Darnold came in for the Jets. He won. Jameis Winston came in for the Saints. He won. And now Ryan Tannehill's in for the Titans, and they're going to win. So that's 3 backup quarterbacks winning their game, even though their teams focus on the postseason.
That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Derrick Henry.
And Henry again. And he's going to be tackled at the 48-yard line. Henry just continues to dominate on the ground. This is just crazy.
A lot of spread formations, more space, but there's still a spot for power football. And we just saw some of it right there. How about that run?
Yeah, breaking the tackle, and you know, late in this game, he wants a football in his hands. He's had a good day. On first down.
And Henry once again. And he's going to be tackled at the 43.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to
and here's Henry again, and Henry's doing it again. Are you serious? And he's brought down at the 9, and that is your ball game. The Titans knock off the Texans 42-10. What a game for Henry. What a game for Ryan Tannehill as they dominate on their way towards the postseason. And unfortunately for Houston, with this loss here, eliminates them from a playoff berth in the AFC. So all that's left is the Cleveland Browns. Whether they win or lose, they're still going to make the playoffs with the Texans' loss.
So for the Titans, a final win here means they'll finish at 14-2. And now they'll have the week off as they get set to go after a Super Bowl title. Meanwhile, for Houston, this might wind up being a tough pill to swallow as they're going to finish the season at 9-7. And it's going to be finger-crossing time as we await the final shakedown of this year's playoff picture. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Man, guys, I've literally got to be honest. Tennessee literally went in there and put on the most dramatic performance I've ever seen. They lost to Green Bay, and they had to come into this game just to rest their starters for the playoffs, right? And they did just that. They only didn't rest Derrick Henry because they wanted him to get some yardage up. And look at what Henry just did to Houston. He destroyed him. He destroyed him on the ground, and it was just crazy. So Ryan Tannehill, with 4 touchdown passes in the game, he threw for 243. That's a tremendous stat. Deshaun Watson finished with 187, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and he ended up losing. So unfortunately for them, they're gonna have to hope. They're gonna have to see what happens. But even though they lost, they're gonna be eliminated from the postseason since they lost, because they're gonna finish at 9-7, and Cleveland was their only hope, because they're the ones 10-5, and if they would have won, they would have finished 10-6, and then would have to watch the Cleveland Browns and Steelers game to find out if they can make the playoffs. But unfortunately, that won't happen. So the Cleveland Browns, unfortunately for them, they're gonna end that longest after playoff drought in the NFL with the Texans loss here. And Derrick Henry, oh my goodness, 270 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Amazing. Duke Johnson ran for only 11, and Deshaun Watson ran for 11. Here's the receiving. Wes Montgomery, 3 catches for 110 and a touchdown. Derrick Henry, 6 catches for 90. A.J. Brown, 4 catches for 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. K.J. Tucker, 4 catches for 53. Adam Humphries, 2 catches for 51. Kenny Stills, 2 catches for 24. Corey Davis, 2 catches for 15 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Jonnu Smith, a catch for 13. So for Tennessee, it's a final win for them, as they will finish the season off at a 14-2 record. And unfortunately for them, since they are in one of the division leader spots, they will host a wild card game in round 1. Meanwhile for Houston, unfortunately for this loss, eliminates them from the postseason. So the Cleveland Browns, guys, the Cleveland Browns have done it. Even though they haven't played yet, they're gonna automatically clinch a playoff spot for the first time in 18 years. That drought is completely over, thanks to the Tennessee Titans defeating the Houston Texans. But if you enjoyed this game though, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And next game, we're gonna be up in Chicago. The Bears do not have anything to play for, neither does Green Bay at this point. So the Packers and Bears meet next. The Packers is trying to finish off the season with one more victory.